moving away from Nintendo stuff, now we'll be talking about Microsoft. So, what are your thoughts on Microsoft's conference? Were there any games that caught your attention? What do you think of Halo Infinite? And are you upset that Conker's Bad Fur Day remake wasn't there?
So for the Conker's Bad Fur Day remake, I never expected that, Gator. You're a freaking liar. But Conker's dead, okay? But as for the Microsoft conference as a whole, it was definitely a B- or C- for me because, well, B- or C+, because there were some things I liked, but some things I didn't like. I really liked Battletoads, which was in the conference, unlike some people who don't like the art style, but I don't really get that because I think the art style looks fine. But yeah, that's all I really want to talk about for the conference. It was okay. As for Halo Infinite, now not the biggest Halo fan here, but it looked pretty good. In my opinion, looked really good to see the Chief again. All that sort of stuff. Now here's a funny thing. I was actually expecting Master Chief to be announced in Smash Bros. Before Banjo was announced. So at the end of the Halo Infinite trailer, where Master Chief jumps into the battlefield or whatever, I was expecting a Smash Bros. Reveal where it was him jumping into the Final Destination and him being announced for Smash, just a continuation of that trailer. That's just what played in my mind. So, anyways, it was okay, and Halo Infinite looks good.
It's funny you say that because the part of the CGI trailer, by the way, the part of that trailer where it shows Chief going into the cockpit and then looking up and it slowly pans to like the planet thing being destroyed, I thought that was going to be the Smash Ball. I thought that was also going to be a Smash reveal because at that point I was like, okay, they're not going to do anything Nintendo-y in this conference because, oh god, do we even want to talk about that rumor? That the rumor that Shigeru Miyamoto was gonna be there, but it turns out the guy that started the rumor thought that he mistaked Shigeru Miyamoto for Keanu Reeves.
How did you do that? How what an idiot that guy is.
I don't know.
What an idiot.
Oh my goodness, that was great.
Yeah, that was so dumb. I saw that, I was like, how did you get those two people mixed up?
Anyway, the Microsoft conference was alright. It was pretty average. We learned the details of Scarlet, only the details of the next Xbox. And Project Scarlet, its name is, again, talking about worst kept gaming secrets, everybody knew that was the project name of of the next Xbox for like 2 years now almost, it feels like. So we only learned pretty much how they kind of revealed Xbox One X. They had the video of them being like, oh, this is our most powerful console yet, except when X was announced, they actually showed what the system looked like. So we learned some details about the next Xbox, and then we got Battletoads, which looks great. I don't mind it. Its art style, I don't know why people have a problem with it. It's like a cartoony game in it of itself, so who cares? And then Halo, again, I can't really give much of an opinion because it was only a CGI trailer, and that's like my big issue with E3, and it's kind of gone away from that in recent years. But when it's just like CGI trailers, how is that supposed to get people? Obviously, CGI trailers are for hype purposes, but like, show some gameplay, please. If you're gonna want to make me buy the game, can I at least see what it actually looks like? Anyway, Halo's Halo, and people have been craving a new Halo for a while. Sucks that it's gonna have to wait to be released to be alongside Scarlet, which means another E3 where they're gonna be like, hey, look, Scarlet, hey, Halo. But it's whatever. Yeah, I agree with Pancake. I think I would give the Xbox conference a B if I had to give letter grades. But yeah, it was an average conference. Microsoft plays it safe a lot with conferences, so they pretty much do average every year. Sometimes they go big. This year, I don't think was a really good year for them. I think it was just average.
Well, my opinion on Microsoft conference, I thought it was really good. Like, I know you guys, you weren't the biggest fan. I mean, I know you guys aren't the biggest Microsoft fans at all. I know you're really big Nintendo fans. But I mean, I enjoy, like, I thought it was really good. Like so, for example, Halo. I thought Microsoft actually won. In my opinion, I think Microsoft actually won E3 this year. Just, I think mainly because well, Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite. I mean, I love Halo. I just love like Halo's one of my favorite series of all time. Like, Halo's is the Xbox version of Pokemon for me, or Mario for me, or like for example, for you guys, Zelda is really big. Well, I'm not. What Halo's like Halo's just amazing series. While I'm not the biggest fan of Halo 4 or 5, I mean they're still better than say Call of Duty or Battlefield or even Assassin's Creed and all of that. Definitely even Halo 4 and 5 are. But and Halo 4 definitely is the worst in the series so far. Halo 5 is just for multiple different reasons and all that. Just it didn't really have the best campaign, mainly because they didn't really focus much on Mac and Chief as much. And also, no split screen, which first in the series was Halo 5, which I'm glad they're bringing that back for Halo Infinite. And it looks amazing. I'm just hoping Halo Infinite is good. Like, I just hope it's really, really good. Like, we haven't really had, like, I mean, Halo 4 was good. I mean, Halo 5 was not that good. I mean, it's still a decent game. Halo 4 was better than Halo 5. But we haven't really had like a really good Halo game since Halo Reach, really, and that was 2010. Like Halo Reach was 2010, so it's been 9 years since we had like a really good Halo game. Even though my favorite is Halo 3, I just hope it. I mean, it looks good, and they have that old Halo armor like from the original games, like from Halo 1 to 3 with Master Chief's armor, because in Halo 4 they did a new armor. Halo 4 and 5, they had a new armor for Chief, so I'm glad they bring back the old classic armor and everything. And just what Halo 4 kind of did, and especially then Halo 5, and I have heard rumors about being a soft reboot, but I don't like, and that still takes place after Halo 5, so like, this is just some of the problems I had with just the game, just what they did and all that. But I'm still super excited for it because it's one of my favorite series I ever played, and I grew up with Halo. I also have multiple friends that grew up with the series, like some of my best friends I have also grew up with Halo and all that. So I know you guys did it and everything, but I just hope Halo Infinite. And it is pronounced Halo Infinite, Gator, by the way, not Halo Infinity. It's actually called Halo Infinite. Just confirming, Gator. But other games also. Another reason why I thought these two games I'm gonna mention. What is the first one I'm gonna mention is Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Like, I'm super excited for that because I love Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. I mean, I'm not that excited for the other Star Wars game, but I'm super excited for Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga because I love Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, and I've actually been wanting a full like when they. I think it's like pretty much since when they announced The Force Awakens or anything, even before Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens game came out, been wanting a Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga updated version with all 9 films, which I knew it was going to be multiple years back then if they were actually going to do it. I thought they would not do that. I thought what's going to happen, either they're going to like which they could create a sequel trilogy and then maybe add that to a Complete Saga 2 or something like that, but they call it the Skywalker Saga because that's what does that. Which I'm super excited for the Lego story because I love Lego Stories: The Complete Saga. Can I grab a slice of cake while Brennan talks? Wow, thanks. But yeah, like I'm excited for like the Lego Star Wars game. I'm excited for that. Like that was like one of the best part. This is the reason why I think Microsoft won E3 because I showed that along with Halo. I mean, like I said, the only big thing about Nintendo I liked is Animal Crossing, and I just wish they showed more of that. But like Halo and then like the Lego Star Wars game is just, oh my god. And then also on top of that, you had Kyle Reeves showed up at Microsoft Con, which was like that. Even though I never really watched the John Wick, I never seen the John Wick movies or anything because I know he's popular in that recently and all that, and I heard those are good movies. But it still was amazing entrance though, like how they did that, like that was really cool. And also Cyberpunk 2077. Oh, I know a lot of people are really excited for that game, and it looks amazing. Like, I mean, I don't know much about that game that much, but I'll probably definitely try, maybe pick it up when it comes out. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited for that. When it comes out, Cyberpunk 2077. Like, cause it looked beautiful. Like, even though I'm more looking forward to Lego Star Wars and Halo Infinite, that's like one of the games I'm excited for. And like just these three games at Microsoft Launch is the reason why I think Microsoft won E3. And I think Square Enix got close too. Like Square Enix got pretty close too, but the thing with Square Enix is, unlike Microsoft, is two like I actually played the games before. Like I've actually played Halo and I actually played the Lego Star Wars game before, compared to which I guess there's Avengers game, but that's a new game. But I'm talking about Final Fantasy VII. But we're going to talk that about in a few questions. But yeah, this is the reason why I think Microsoft 183 I thought it was a major conference. I know you guys say it's average, but I thought it was amazing. I mean, sure they had probably maybe better years, but I thought it was amazing.
Well, since we're stalling time now, I guess, because Gator's getting a slice of cake, because he probably expects you to go on for another 20 minutes. So, really quickly, I do want to mention that you mentioned Keanu Reeves showing up. I just found it so funny how off the cuff his exchange with the guy in the audience was, where he mentioned how Cyberpunk is breathtaking, then the guy said, "You're breathtaking," and then Keanu pointed the other guy out, "No, you're breathtaking." I just love that. It was so funny.
Yeah.
And the guy that did that is getting a free collector's edition of the game, which is pretty cool. So that's exciting. And you want to talk about some really exciting stuff?
What?
The best thing from no joke, I'm not lying. The best thing I found great from the Microsoft conference, the Lego expansion in Forza Horizon 4. That was so amazing. When I was watching the conference, I was watching it and I was like, "Oh, great, it's Forza." Because they had everything set up. Everybody expects a new car at E3 every year because of Forza. But then they revealed it was a Lego car. And then they showed the trailer for the expansion to Under Everything is Awesome. And it was just so funny. Oh, yeah. It was just so amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Oh, hey, you're back. Did you eat your cake yet?
Gator's back. Yay.
Yeah, I saw that during the, I saw that during the...
He saw that during his story time.
Yeah, during my story time.
I came back with my cake and he was still talking, so I just stayed quiet.
Wow.
So with the Microsoft conference, I thought it was good. But my problem with it was that pretty much every trailer they showed was either mostly CGI or completely CGI. And as James was saying, that doesn't really tell me anything about the game itself. I much prefer having a gameplay trailer. Even with Nintendo's conference direct thing, even when they showed off Witcher 3, they showed what the game looked like running on the Switch. And say what you will about the game's visuals, it still looked pretty great. And we saw what you're going to get in the full game. And that's something that's really bothering me about Microsoft's conference lately, is that they're mostly CGI, and it just rubs me the wrong way. But the games themselves, they looked pretty decent. That one game with the deer and the lights, that instantly reminded me of Pode on Switch, and that's one of my favorite puzzle games recently, so that's instantly something I approve of. Halo Infinite looks decent. And I find it funny that you guys thought that I was a Smash Brothers trailer. That would have been awesome if it was, but...
I thought it was going to transition into a Smash reveal, not a Smash trailer, excuse me.
That's pretty much everything I have to say about Microsoft outside of what we'll be talking about next. So, how are you feeling about Project Scarlet and xCloud from what we know so far?
Sorry, excuse me. I'm eating a Jolly Rancher right now, so sorry if it's not. Oh God, sorry if I sound a little different. Just swallowed a really sharp piece of Jolly Rancher, so I don't really care for Project Scarlet that much because when they were showing it off, we were like, "Oh, look at all this it's gonna be high technical." And you can see at greater than 60 frames per second, even though it's impossible for the human brain to see anything higher than 60 frames per second. So we don't even know that it's running at that pace, but we're going to say it is. And it's like they say all this technical stuff and we don't even get to really see it. When you announce a console, I want to see it. I don't care about the technical stuff. All I care about is the console. And if you don't really show it, I'm not going to care about it. So show it, or else I'm not going to care. As for xCloud, I don't really know what it is. It sounds like a cloud service, and you know how I feel about cloud service and streaming services. So yeah, not really much to talk about there. Project Scarlet, name sounds dumb. Should have shown more. Should have shown off the console. Should have stopped talking technical. Just show it off, and let me be excited for the console, not for the technical stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I would have rather have seen Scarlet. I don't really care about the technical stuff, but to be honest, because Microsoft is, with Xbox One, starting with that, they've been releasing most games on Windows as well. So if I really wanted that type of gameplay, I'd rather probably just build a new computer and play that way instead of getting a console. But regardless, xCloud, they honestly actually didn't talk about it all too much, even though Phil Spencer advertised it in the opening when talking about stuff. He said, "Oh, we're going to talk about our new console, our next generation of Xbox. We're going to talk about our xCloud service." And I'm trying to harken back, other than the part where they were talking about Scarlet, where briefly Phil Spencer mentioned xCloud. They didn't really talk about it. I mean, it's their service they're trying to get everywhere on mobile, iOS, probably the Switch. So, yeah, I mean, we didn't really learn much about that. Scarlet, again, I don't really care in terms of we didn't, about its technical specs, although it is kind of dumb. 120 FPS, how do you actually calculate that? Like Pancake said, the brain and eyes probably can't really even process that. 8K, I mean, I don't really care, because, like, I think in China there's like 32K television, so at least not 32K. And
that's pretty big.
Or 16K. So it's one of those. It's a multiple of 4. Anyway,
it's either 4K or 8K.
No, I think in China it's moved up.
Probably 16. It's probably 16K.
Yeah, I think it's 16K now in China or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I really would have preferred to see the Scarlet. I get why they didn't show it, but it would have been nice to see it. Other than that, I pretty much already gave my thoughts earlier, so I don't really need to rehash anything, I think.
Yeah, this is probably the most disappointing part of the Microsoft conference, just with the whole part of Scarlet and the xCloud, just because, like, at the same, because they talk about all these technology stuff, where it's just like, but the thing is, we have the Nintendo Switch that can do 7P on a handheld, and and I'm fine with that. Like the thing is, plus you're getting too far. Like, I think they're going too far ahead in the future with these systems, where like not a lot of people are probably gonna buy it just because like they don't have like maybe the TV for it. That like if you want to do like the max stuff, you would have to buy the new TV as well and everything. Like, I still just have like a normal 1080p computer. I mean, TV, but I do have my computer is 1080p, but I meant 1080p TV, or screen. I guess a screen, and it just had to be a TV, just a screen. But yeah, that's just things like they talk all, and like Pancake said, you can't see anything faster than 60 frames. like even just going from 30 to 60 frames, it's not much of a difference. Like, I mean, there's some difference, but if it's one's the same resolution and there's like no lag or anything, it's just I probably can't even tell between 30 and 60. Where like when I play a game, games, I don't really care about if it runs 30 frames or 60 frames unless it lags, of course, or something like that. But that's like the main issue with lagging, but that's different than the kind of frame. And if it's like there's games I have on my Xbox One and I have the original Xbox One, like the original one before the Xbox One S and before the Xbox One X were released / announced, because I got this back in 2015, early 2015. So like the thing is, games still look good on that system, and still like, and I always play my old systems all the time. So like, graphics are not everything, and we have the Switch, and Switch is awesome. Like because we can take that on the go and everything too. So like, that's a plus side with Nintendo. Why? Like, that's one thing I don't like about Microsoft and PlayStation with their whole thing is like they're getting too far ahead with technology. Like I mean, I think just gaming wise, just what they want to do is going too fast. Slow down. Like, I don't want a 8K / 120 frames on a next generation console. Like we haven't even done 4K yet for next gen. Like, it started out with 1080p and stuff like that, and now we're going to talk about 8K. It's like, maybe have a whole generation with 4K first, and then the next generation after that with 8K and 120 frames and stuff like that. Just in my opinion, or at least and stuff like that. So like, I think they're just going too fast with technology and all that. And also, I think the Project Scarlet, like for example, Project Scorpio just ended up being the Xbox One X, and that's literally just Xbox One, just more powerful. This might end up being an Xbox One, just more powerful. Like, and I'm not getting a new Xbox until it's actually a new Xbox. Like, for example, the Xbox One is a new console to the Xbox 360, and the Xbox 360 is a new console to the Xbox One. I'm not going to get an Xbox until that happens. Like, no matter, because I don't really care that much about like if it's proved. I'm just care about if I can play the games on the new like, if I can't play my old games or whatever, or something like that. If I can't play Xbox One games, which I mean depends if it's backwards compatible. Backwards compatibility is different, but that's different. But if the Project Scarlet ends up just being another Xbox One, I don't care, because I have the original. Like, that's my opinion. Like, I have the original. I can still play the game. I can still play new games on my original Xbox One, and just fine. And they play great. Like, they still play great. I mean, I guess the main thing is loading times. I mean, that's the only thing that would be beneficial really for me if I get a new Xbox One. And plus, would be like loading times, because I don't have 4K TV even. Like, I have a 1080p, so like, it's mainly with the whole just loading times, downloading times and stuff, which they take forever on the original Xbox One. Which I know the Xbox One S and Xbox One S and Xbox One X do have faster loading and downloading times, but for like digital games and stuff, but it still takes a long time no matter what. Like, it took so long. Like, it took half a day just to download the Master Chief Collection. Like, God. But of course, there's a lot bigger games than on the Nintendo Switch anyway. But like, because I think Master Chief Collection was about 80 gigabytes. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. Just that definitely was the most disappointing part of the Microsoft conference there.
Yeah, the lack of any meaningful information on Scarlet and xCloud is kind of the big reason why I'm very hesitant to saying that Microsoft beat Nintendo this year. But from what we did hear, there are a couple interesting things that they said that intrigued me. For the Xbox Scarlet, one of the things they talked about was that they're making it their goal to make loading times completely obsolete. And if they could pull that off, that'd actually be pretty impressive. But at the same time, as an old school gamer, there's something kind of for the lack of a better term, nostalgic over loading screens and things like that. So it'd be kind of weird to see them go away completely. And the xCloud, the reason why I brought that up in particular was because there was something they mentioned during the conference that really interested me. They said that they'd have a update on Xbox One where you could turn your Xbox One console into a server for xCloud, basically meaning that if you're streaming your game onto your phone or your laptop or something like that, then the streaming is coming from your Xbox and not some server that's 1,000 miles away from you. So the input lag would be really reduced if that's true, and I could see that would really help with limiting. I can't really think of any other words besides input lag or anything like that, like the latency or things like that. So if that's true, then that's really cool. And I could probably see them doing something along those lines as well with Project Scarlet. So yeah, we don't know much about them. I kind of wish they showed more. We did see the controller during the Scarlet thing, but it just looked like any other Xbox controller. It didn't look like anything special or anything like that. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Wish they showed more, but they didn't. So yeah. And now moving away from Microsoft's conference, we're now going to be talking about Square Enix. So what are your thoughts on Final Fantasy VII Remake?
So, I've never really cared for Final Fantasy VII that much. I think it is the most overrated Final Fantasy game ever. I'm happy that the remake got a release date, though. But I don't care about Final Fantasy VII Remake. I care more about the fact that Final Fantasy VIII is finally getting a re-release after so long of being ignored. That's all I really have to say.
Well, okay then. Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'm actually happy that it's being released before we are all dead. It's coming out in 2020. It's March 2020, just like Animal Crossing. Gonna be a good month. So I find it intriguing that it's not technically going to be... I mean, technically it is going to be episodic, because they confirmed at least 2 parts. The first part is, like, basically a big remake of the original, of, like, all the Midgar stuff. And then the second part will be, like, extra additional content stuff, I believe is how they worded that. So the first part coming out March 2020, exciting, and it looks great. I'm glad they actually showed a lot of gameplay off of it. I love how they teased people with, like, do you want to see some Tifa gameplay? And everybody's like, yeah. And then they were like, oh, no, you're just going to have to wait. And then they showed Tifa gameplay like 10 minutes later. It was funny. Although I find it really cringy. People are complaining about her breasts apparently being smaller in the remake, which that model in the original... That's not what women look like, guys. Come on, have you even seen a woman before?
I can just imagine Attacker just having a field day with something like that.
Or Lara Croft.
But yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'm happy with it. It's gonna be exciting. Even though I mentioned during my reactions, if there's gonna be any game that would get me to get a PS4 or 5, because I assume that'll be something they push for when they start getting ready to go with the PS5, I think it would be Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, like Final Fantasy VII, I actually never played, but I'm definitely one to try the game out, and it looks amazing. It looks beautiful, and the characters look beautiful. I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of Tifa in the new design, but like, I mean, still looks good. Like, she still looks good, but I prefer some of the other characters that were better, I think. But like I said, I didn't play Final Fantasy VII, so but I'm still looking forward to Final Fantasy VII Remake. It looks beautiful. Definitely gonna get the game when it comes out. I just hope. Whoa, actually, if it's a PS4 exclusive, I won't get it. But if it comes out for the Switch, hopefully, please come out for Switch or the Xbox One. At least the Xbox One, I hope. Please Switch though. Please come out for the Switch. I'm definitely gonna get it then. Like, definitely gonna try that game out, and I'm excited for it. Just I know it's gonna be on. And it's all interesting because it's on 2 Blu-ray discs. Because it's just that's how big Final Fantasy VII game is. I know original Final Fantasy VII were on multiple discs back in the day. And this is interesting. This Final Fantasy remake. I'm excited for it. Even though I never really played the original, I'm excited for it. Definitely gonna cry when Aeris dies. God, especially in remake form. Like,
Spoilers, gosh.
it's a 20-year-old game, Gator. If you don't know it now, you won't know it. If you didn't know it back then, then you'll have been living under a rock.
It's a bolder thank you.
It's what I say.
It's a bolder thank you.
The boulder. But yeah, it's like if people didn't know that Darth Vader is Luke's father. Like it's like that, but with gaming wise. And I guess if you're not a gamer, I guess you would not know that, and you probably wouldn't have heard of Final Fantasy. But anyway, yeah, like the game just looks beautiful, and would definitely play the game if it comes out for the Switch / or Xbox One, because I don't have a PS4. And yeah, please come out for multiple systems.
I've loved most everything that I've seen of the Final Fantasy VII Remake so far. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it being an episodic game, and I'm really hoping that it's not a PlayStation exclusive and it eventually does come to Switch. Like, do whatever you have to get it on Switch. Like, I don't care if the graphics are downscaled or anything like that. I don't care about any of that. All the characters could look exactly like the original versions, just with the new combat or anything like that. It could be something like that. I don't care. I just want the remake on Switch. But going back to what James was saying about the Tifa thing, I don't understand why people are so upset about that, because Tifa looks incredible in the remake. And I'm going to be very blunt when I say this, but I think Tifa actually looks a bit more attractive in this game than she did in any of the artwork or anything like that in the original, because like, I know it's supposed to be like over exaggerated art style or whatever, but she didn't really look that great in the original. So I'm really happy that they updated her character model to make her look more like a real person. And this may just be biased because Tifa is my Final Fantasy waifu. But yeah, I'm really excited for the Final Fantasy VII remake. And next question: what are your thoughts on the Avengers game?
My thoughts on the Avengers game is this. Wow, Square really failed at showing off this one. You have such a big franchise as the Avengers, and what do? Well, we're going to show off a trailer and talk about the voice actors in the game. I was very underwhelmed with the reveal of this trailer because of that. I don't really think we saw much gameplay. It was really just a trailer. Then we got to the voice actors, and that's where a majority of it was spent. That really sucked, in my opinion. But it just goes to show, Nintendo showed off their Marvel game way better than Square could show off their Avengers game. But that doesn't mean I'm not excited for it. I just wish we would have seen more.
Yeah, I mean, an Avengers game's cool. I feel like it's almost a little too late, though, considering the whole... I'm not gonna spoil Endgame, but, like, the whole Avengers arc is basically over for Marvel films, so it feels like it's really too late. And if this has been in development for a long time, going back maybe, like, 4 years, then... Like, it just really feels too late to do this for me, especially because it doesn't seem like they're gonna have more than maybe, like, the core 5 or 4, because they basically spoiled a part of the game immediately. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it, especially, like Pancake said. They showed some of it, then they went and were like, hey, this is our cast. Look at our cast. Isn't our cast great? Cast. It was just a little lackluster to me. I mean, and it also kind of looks like a PS3 game, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it's good for Marvel fans. It really feels too late for me to have a game like this.
Unlike you two, I'm really excited for this game. Like, it looked amazing. It looks a lot better than the other Marvel game. Like, I know a lot of people like bashing this game. Like, this game looks amazing. Like, I mean, I do wish it had Hawkeye in it. Like compared and everything, I do wish they had Hawkeye, which is like that's just he's like the number one character, main character in the just whole MCU and just overall. That just he's not in it that much compared to all the other ones. Like, and he's like the one of the main persons. Like, for example, he wasn't even in Infinity War at all, and then he's not. And looks like, I mean, he might be in it. He might be in this game, but you know, I mean, just. I mean, it still looks amazing. Like the game looks amazing. It's created by Crystal Dynamics, the same people who created I guess Tomb Raider games since Legends. I think since Legends. I was about to say since Age of Ultron, but no, I think it's since Legends. But yeah, like it's created by by people who create Tomb Raider, like the Tomb Raider games and all that, and I love the Tomb Raider games and stuff like that, and I know Gator does too, and I know, yeah, I guess I can see it being a little late because with all in-game stuff and just other stuff. I'm not gonna spoil it. I could, but I'm not going to. Even though it's been out for a while. It's in-game been out for a while, but for a little while now. But unlike Pancake and unlike James, this game just it looks amazing, and just by what people thought of the game and thought like. I think it might be a while before the game releases. Maybe they definitely probably do need to polish it up. I think it still looks better. Like graphically, I think it still looks better than the other Marvel game. I think the other Marvel game, like you guys say, that looks like a PS3 game. The other Marvel game looks like a PS2 game, but the same. But so, and I'm actually more excited for this game just because like the other game just. I mean, I can see why people are excited for that game because they have all these Marvel characters and all that. But the other one graphically doesn't really look that good at all. It just looks like the PS2 game. But this game still like I'm excited for it. I know it's interesting because it's the MCU characters from the MCU just with different voice actors, which I mean makes it's hard to get. It's hard to get the voice actors in the game. Obviously, the original voice actors of the MCU, which. It's gonna be interesting when it takes place, though. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, I know it's called the Avengers. I don't think it will be actually the Avengers, like the MCU the Avengers, even though it's technically is MCU the Avengers, but not the movie the Avengers, which is what I mean. I don't know when it. I mean, obviously, it has to take place sometime before Infinity War. That's all I know. Like, it has to take place sometime before Infinity War. That's all I know.
Real quick, I think they confirmed that it's a separate story from the movies.
Well,
I don't think it's part of the
it's a separate story, but still with the same MC. It's still with the same. I mean, it's a separate story, yeah, but still within the same. It's still with the same MCU character. So it's gonna be interesting, like how it will turn out and everything. Just where in the timeline, even though technically it's not in the timeline, it's separate, but. It's kind of confusing because it's still with the same MCU characters and all that, but I just know I think it's going to take place before Infinity War, obviously, but due to some spoilers, which I'm not going to talk about. But yeah, unlike those other two, I'm excited for this game, and probably was the second best thing after Final Fantasy VII remake.
So I am excited about the fact that the Avengers game is being made by the same people that made Tomb Raider. But this also kind of has its own problems because my problem with the more recent Tomb Raider games, and this also applies to what we've seen of the Avengers game, it seems a bit too cinematic. So I'm worried it's going to have the same problem as the Tomb Raider reboot games where it's a bit hard to tell when you can control your character again. Because that's a big problem I have with Tomb Raider 2013 in particular. And another thing I don't really like about that I've seen from the trailer so far is that I don't know what is with Crystal Dynamics, but the way they animate their people just makes it kind of takes you out of the immersion a little bit. Because the way they animate their characters, you can very clearly tell that they're a video game character. If that makes any sense. Like, in if you want an example, the way they animate Laura in Tomb Raider Legend, she moves around like a real person, but something about the way they animate her in the reboot games just makes her feel a bit more not realistic, if that makes any sense. And
I disagree.
I'm getting off topic.
I disagree.
Yeah, it looks good, but I'm also admittedly a bit confused about it because they said it's a story mode, but they also said there's multiplayer, and they made a big point about saying that there's no loot boxes or anything like that. But at the same time, why would you have a loot box in a game like this if it's supposed to be a story game? Is there some kind of online multiplayer thing? It seems a little confusing, so I don't think they got the message across quite as well as they should have. But I do have high hopes for this one because it is made by Crystal Dynamics and they are a very good company. So I don't think it's going to be a terrible game.
Okay, I gotta say though, with the whole Laura Croft being not realistic, I kind of disagree with that. She looks like the most realistic in the reboot compared to any other Tomb Raider games. Like, I mean, I know that's just your opinion, that it is, but disagree. She looks like more of a person in the reboot than the original. Definitely the original, and even the Legend games and / Underworld games. That's just my opinion. She looks as a person, and no reboot.
I was mostly comparing it to like the background characters, like Sam and the doctor guy. Like they don't move nearly as well as Laura does. If that makes any sense.
Oh yeah.
We're getting off topic.
Yeah, I mean that's true. They're definitely not as more focused compared to Laura.
All right. Moving on to the next question. Are there any other games you'd like to talk about that were shown off during Square Enix's conference?
Kind of already talked about this when I was talking about Final Fantasy VII, but I'm really glad that Final Fantasy VIII is finally getting some attention. Glad that it's finally getting a remastered. And that's all I really got to talk about.
Yeah, in terms of the actual games themselves, I don't really have much to add to this, but overall, I do want to say that Square's conference was top 3 for me, which is weird, because usually Square's like never in discussion for being top 3 at E3, but hey, this year, it was pretty great. That's all I really have to say. Games, honestly, I don't really remember the conference all too well, other than Avengers and Final Fantasy, but yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, Square Enix definitely is a good conference this year. Like number 2 for me. Like say, I say number 2. Say number 1 would be Microsoft, number 2 would be Square Enix, and then number 3 would be Nintendo. But yeah, I know, gonna get a lot of hate for that from fans and stuff like that, and hopefully not anyone hopefully not anyone listening in this discussion, but that would get mad at me for that. But yeah, like other games, well, I guess the only thing I really want to talk about with the whole they do show off the Life is Strange 2, which I really enjoyed the first Life is Strange, and I need to play Before the Storm, which is a prequel to Life is Strange, the first game. I just wish it was with the same characters as the original and as well as the prequel. Just Life is Strange is a good game. I'm not the biggest fan of games that do that, where they have like, I mean, I can see Final Fantasy is different, but and everything, but I'm not the biggest fan of games where they have these characters and everything, and even like for example, Infamous has 3 games, but Infamous 1 and 2 or with the same characters and all that. But then you have Infamous Second Son with new characters and everything. It's like, why didn't we just have characters from the second game? But that's like one thing. It's like, I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, it's still probably going to be a good game. Probably won't get it because I just wish it was with the characters from the first game. Especially, it would be interesting to see how it'd be interesting. Because spoilers for the first game. In the first game, there's like 2 different choices you had and everything. So I kind of wish, and I wonder what they would have done with that, like what Square Enix would have done or chosen with that whole choice thing at the end. Which, I mean, I can see why it's hard. I can see why they didn't make a sequel to that game, but I'd rather not have a sequel than have this game, just because like it's not with the same characters and everything as the first game, and I grew to love the kids with the first game and all of that, like with Chloe and then the main character Max. But yeah, it's like, can we just have the kids with the original game? Like, that's the problem I have with some games, like the third, in which, I mean, Hard Infamous Second Son is a good game, which I haven't played because it's a PS4 exclusive, but yeah, like, when just depending on, I mean, it depends on the series, but just I kind of wish it was with the original characters. But in the other games, not really. I mean, I guess it's cool that Final Fantasy VIII is coming to Switch. That's cool, and more Final Fantasy games coming to Switch. That's really cool and all that. But not really much else. Like, mainly those two big games, like Final Fantasy VII and the Avengers game, with both look really good. So, like I said, it's my second favorite behind Microsoft's. But anyway, I'm done.
So there was a part of me that was hoping there'd be a Tomb Raider announcement, but we just got Shadow of the Tomb Raider, so I wasn't really expecting it that much. But as for other games, I agree. Final Fantasy VIII, it's awesome that's coming to Switch. It felt a little weird that they skipped it before, but it sounds like they're completely remastering it, so that's pretty exciting. And I'm really happy that we got news on the Crystal Chronicles port, because that was my favorite Final Fantasy game of all time, and it's getting a Switch port, and it's going to have online multiplayer, and I'm just so excited for that one. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one, and hopefully maybe I can convince you guys to play that one with me so I can show you how awesome that game is. But anyway, moving on from Square Enix's conference, we're now going to be going on to Ubisoft. And Ubisoft was interesting, so we're going to do something different with this question. If you had to summarize Ubisoft's conference in 4 words, what would they be?
Too much Tom Clancy.
Hashtag it really sucked.
I didn't watch it, even though that's technically 5 words if you count did not, but I kind of has it together. I didn't watch it.
Where's Mario Rabbids sequel? There we go. I had a whole list right here prepared for this one, and I was going to offer it to you guys if you want some. And I was happy with this other one that was all like, not enough Just Dance. Yeah, I remember during James' reaction to that one, like, I was watching that one live, and it was just so funny watching everyone's reactions to just how much Tom Clancy stuff was announced there. It was like, oh my goodness, move on from this.
Ubisoft is dead to me, but I do love God and Monsters. That was a good one. I love that announcement.
That looks so good.
Everything else kind of sucked. Too much Tom Clancy. Please, stop.
And the last question for our discussion. Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap up this video?
My final thoughts are, altogether, when E3 began, it just wasn't that good. And Nintendo did save it, in my opinion. Nintendo won E3, all that sort of stuff. Everybody else was underwhelming. I know I said Microsoft had some good things here and there, but like I said, they were a C- to B+ for me. It wasn't until Nintendo where I could finally say that this year's E3 was actually pretty good, even with the disappointments that we had. Hope next year's E3 is way better. Hope Nintendo wins again. Really looking forward to next year.
I just really hope Sony shows up at E3 next year, just because it's not the same not laughing at them this year. I mean, we didn't get to laugh at EA in this discussion, since apparently they were there. I thought they weren't going to be there. I heard they weren't going to be there, but you know what? They showed up and they showed Star Wars for like 30 minutes, and that was kind of it. So, but yeah, E3 was alright this year. I've said it before, I think Nintendo won as well. If I had to do a top 3, it would probably be Nintendo, Square, and then Microsoft. Microsoft would have easily beat Square if we maybe saw Project Scarlet, and maybe if Halo was being released this year, but overall they were still good conferences, and I'm looking forward to next year as well.
You didn't have Bethesda on your list, but what about that new Elder Scrolls game coming to Switch? That looked amazing.
I actually did forget to list Bethesda on my list of E3 conferences. I literally forgot to put that on my conferences. That's how bad it was.
You want to know something about Bethesda real quick? Is that during the Bethesda conference, the CEO of Bethesda said fuck, and everybody heard it. So I just wanted to point that out.
I guess I'm going to talk about Bethesda's here real quick, because I think we're wrapping up, and we didn't really have a question about Bethesda's. Bethesda's sucked pretty bad. I mean, the only good thing really is Doom Eternal. Like, I mean, that looks good. The first game was good and everything. Like the first game, as in the reboot, but yeah, it's like the only game, like the whole section with Fallout 76 was just really bad. Like I know it's a bad game and everything, and they talked about Fallout 76 like, so that was so cringy to watch, and then they announced a Battle Royale mode to Fallout 76. Oh my! I can't even say the name. That's how bad it was. I can't even finish saying the name. That's how bad it was. But yeah, Battle Royale for that game. Just like, why does everything have to be Battle Royale? Like, seriously, please, why? Especially to a bad game in the first place. To a game series that's originally mainly for single player experience and stuff like that. Well, I mean, I know Fallout 76 really wasn't much single player, but other Fallout games were like Fallout 4 and all that. Just why? What? They definitely were the worst. Bethesda was definitely the worst conference of E3. Like, they were the worst. Like, just. I mean, I didn't watch Ubisoft, so I can't really judge how bad Ubisoft was. I mean, they probably were still better than Bethesda's. Like, Bethesda's dead last. Like, even Sony's ahead of them. Like, that's how bad it was. Even Sony, who wasn't even here, is better than Bethesda's. They maybe even better than Ubisoft, but I didn't watch Ubisoft. I mean, I said Ubisoft had Just Dance for the Wii. But joke aside, well, one thing I actually was surprised they didn't have at Ubisoft conference was the new Assassin's Creed, which I thought would happen just because they released. Well, I guess except for a few years ago where they didn't release one, which I mean it could be this year again where they have no Assassin's Creed. But I was surprised. I just mainly because I was wondering what setting they'll do this year, but there isn't one, so maybe they're taking a year break, which I mean it's nice. I think we do have too many Assassin's Creed. Like, the thing is, even if the next Assassin's Creed game, we don't really care that much. I just want to know where it's setting, just because it's interesting. But yeah, like, Bethesda's conference sucked. Ubisoft was better, but it still wasn't that good. Nintendo's was decent. Like, it was okay. It was definitely better than Ubisoft and Bethesda's. I thought it was decent. Definitely had better years. Square Enix was good. Like, it was really good. Microsoft was even better, except for the stuff about Project Scarlet with the whole technology stuff. But I think Microsoft won this year's E3. Just for me, at least. For me, just my opinion, I think. But yeah, it's just. I just wish that Sony was here this year. Well, the thing is, the last two Sony conferences, the 2 years before, were bad, like really bad. Like 2017 was really bad. 2018 Sony was really, really, really bad. Like, I mean, just because the whole thing where that like switch locations and then have guys talking for like 10, 15 minutes during a conference that we watched online is like, really, Sony, what are you doing? And then this year, they're not even here. Like, just Sony, you need to step up your game. Like, you need to do better. You need to have better conferences. I know you're doing better than Microsoft and all that with the whole bunch of exclusives you have and all that. And I know you do have like good games and all that and stuff like that, but like you need to make better conferences, like, and you need to show more games than just the big hitters for like 20 minutes each. Like that's the one thing why I didn't like the last two conferences. They focused too much on just those four or just those like few games, even though they still were all good games. Just that you need to show games like Microsoft, like you need to be like Microsoft and Nintendo, where they show just game after game after game and all that. So, but Sony's, which I mean, I like how Sony's different, but at the same time, it's just I hope Sony's here next year. I just wish they. That's the thing. What I wish about E3 is just E3's getting to a point where you have like people trying maybe to like. I mean, I guess Sony was the one that wasn't here, but where they kind of ditch E3 and it's like it's just disappointing because one thing is I want to go to E3 some year. And if companies start doing this, it'd be sad because if something happens where they don't do E3 anymore, it'd be disappointing because I never been to E3 and it would suck to never go to E3. That would suck. Like that's the thing. I want more. I want companies. Like. I mean, it's fine having their own conferences and everything throughout the year and all that, but we need all big three at E3 just. And I guess I can see why they're not this year because they've been disappointing anyway. But anyway, like I said, Microsoft won E3. Like Square Enix came close. Nintendo was decent. And then you had the whole Pokemon controversy thing that definitely also lowered my thing with the whole E3 with Nintendo. But yeah, just definitely could have been a better E3 with Sony being there and stuff.
Yeah, this E3 started off pretty disappointing, but then Nintendo came in through at the last minute and announced more details on Link's Awakening remake and Banjo-Kazooie and the Breath of the Wild sequel, which completely made everything else not matter in the world because that's all that I need to know. So if I were to rank them, I'd agree with James. It'd be Nintendo, Square Enix, and then Microsoft. And it was a pretty decent E3. Not the best in the world, but it was still pretty good. And Brandon, you were talking about wanting to go to E3 someday. I personally want next year. I'm personally going to want to try to go to the New York Nintendo store so that I can be part of that large crowd. They always get super excited over everything.
Honestly, yeah, I'd rather probably just go to the Nintendo store. It'd be less crowded than going to E3, and it'd be a lot more hype because you'd get to watch the conference with a lot of people. Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Maybe. I mean, I would like to go to the Microsoft conference someday because unlike maybe you guys, I actually enjoy a lot of the Microsoft conferences. Like the past few years, I've been enjoying the Microsoft conference. So, I mean, definitely would like to check out Nintendo stuff. But like, I want to go to like a Microsoft conference someday. Whenever I go to E3, that'd be the conference I would go to just because past few years I've been enjoying Microsoft conferences.
All right, so I think that's pretty much everything for our E3 2019 reaction. So thank you all so much for watching this discussion. This was a pretty long one, so I don't know if this is like a two-parter or anything like that, but thank you all so much for watching this discussion. I'm Nate Gear to you, and they are
Green Covers Gaming,
Pancake Armor Man,
and TheJamesRolls.
So place your bets right now. Will Pikmin 4 be shown at E3 2020?
You're funny.
Maybe.
Nope.
No, probably just was Hey Pikmin.
Hey Pikmin 2.
Yeah. Hey Pikmin 2 for the Wii U.